Good morning, EBC kids. Thank you so much for joining us today. For the next 8 weeks, we will learn how to rely on God's power to defeat any evil. God's power in us equips us with everything we need to be heroes every day. We will see and learn that when Jesus is the leader and hero of our lives, we will be victorious. So welcome to our new series called Heroes and Villains. If this is your very first time joining us for Heroes and Villains, I just want to say welcome, and we are so glad to have you. I am so excited that we have been going through this series and learning so much. Have you guys been enjoying your week? It has definitely been different, but let me remind you that no matter what you're facing, God is right there with you. He loves you, He knows you, and He cares about you. This week, we are going to talk about how God's power in me helps me be selfless. Our Bible story is about a lady named Deborah. So let's head on over to our Bible story together and check it out.
Deborah, a palm tree prophet. Life has been miserable for God's people, the Israelites. Because they chose to disobey God, He has handed them over to a ruthless king named Jabin. Jabin has a powerful army with 900 iron chariots. The commander of his army is Sisera. However, the Israelites have a selfless leader named Deborah. She is a prophet who sits under the palm tree of Deborah, giving the people advice and settling any arguments that they have. Barak summoned to fight Jabin's army. The Lord gave a message to Deborah for his servant Barak. She told Barak, "I have a message for you from the Lord God of Israel. You are to get together an army of 10,000 men from the Naphtali and Zebulun tribes and lead them to Mount Tabor. The Lord will trick Sisera into coming out to fight you at the Kishon River. Sisera will be leading King Jabin's army as usual, and they will have their chariots, but the Lord has promised to help you defeat them." God's plan is to draw Sisera, the commander of the evil king's army, into a trap. Then Barak and his army will be able to defeat Sisera. Barak refuses to fight. Deborah has given Barak a command from God to go and fight Jabin's army. But Barak is afraid. He told Deborah, "I'm not going unless you go." It is Barak's job to command the army and go into battle, but he wants Deborah to go with him. It would be easier for Deborah to stay under the palm tree, but instead she has selflessly chosen to go with Barak to fight Jabin's army. They are on their way to gather 10,000 soldiers for battle. Battle 1. Sisera escapes. Deborah has gone with Barak to battle Jabin's army at the Kishon River. They gathered 10,000 men, and things are happening exactly as God said they would. God trapped Sisera and his army so that Barak and Deborah were able to defeat them. Sisera has escaped, but witnesses report that he has been killed while hiding in a nearby tent. Deborah was selfless by choosing to help Barak fight Jabin's army. God has given them victory just as He promised.
What was Deborah's job? Do you remember? She was a prophet. True or false? Barak was a commander of the army. That's true. What did God tell Barak to do? Defeat Sisera's army or do extra math homework? I think we know the answer to that one. How did Barak react to the news Deborah told him? He was afraid. And the last question from our Bible story review is, what does it mean to be selfless? Choosing to help others. Deborah was a prophet. She served her people under the palm tree of Deborah. People came to her for advice and for her to settle arguments between them. One day, Deborah sent for Barak. He was a commander in the army. Deborah said to Barak, "The Lord, the God of Israel, is giving you a command. He says, go, take 10,000 men from the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun with you." God was going to draw Sisera, who was the commander of the evil king's army, into a trap. Then Barak and his army would be able to defeat Sisera. But Barak was afraid. He said to Deborah, "If you go with me, I'll go, but if you don't go with me, I won't." Even though it would have been easier to stay under the palm tree, Deborah chose to help Barak by going with him. It was Barak's job to command the army and go into battle, but he wanted Deborah to go with him. Deborah was selfless and went with him into battle. After Deborah decided to go with Barak, they gathered 10,000 men and went into battle. Things happened exactly as God said they would. God trapped Sisera and his army so that Barak and Deborah were able to defeat them. Sisera managed to escape, but he was killed later when he was hiding from Barak and Deborah. Now that you have seen the Bible story pictures, can you help me put them into order? Which one was number 1? Which one was number 2? Which one was number 3? And which one was number 4? How many did you get right? Did you guess them all correctly?
I feel it in the air right now. It's all around, I see it everywhere. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. It's the power to move any star. It's the power to heal your broken heart. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. So don't hold back, no, don't hold still. 'Cause God is here and He is real. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now freeze. And everybody clap your hands. Now stop. I feel it in the air right now. It's all around, I see it everywhere. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. It's the power to move any star. It's the power to Everybody clap your hands. Now stop.
Thanks so much for joining us. I hope that you come back next week. We only have 2 more weeks of heroes and villains left. So have a fantastic one. See you next time.